We are here today to celebrate the amazing progress being made in our city to advance Pittsburgh's workforce. That work is guided by the vision of Mayor Gainey to create a city in which every resident is afforded an opportunity to thrive. But that vision is not fulfilled without the willingness of those that make up the workforce, committing to breaking down barriers to employment, to prioritizing the creation of apprenticeship opportunities, and to making sure that our most disadvantaged communities have access to equitable employment opportunities. So we thank all of you in the room who support our efforts to make Mayor Gainey's vision a reality. You should give yourself a round of applause for that. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge all of the elected officials in the room. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your continued support. We appreciate you. I have the pleasure of introducing someone who is no stranger to the city of Pittsburgh at this point, as she has been an outstanding partner in the work we are doing to create what we like to call opportunity infrastructure here in our great city. Join me in welcoming Acting Secretary of Labor, Julie Su.
Thank you so much for that, Sydney, and thank you, Pittsburgh, for always welcoming me so warmly. And truly, every time I come here, more has been done to build that opportunity infrastructure, so I'm delighted to be here to celebrate that and to celebrate the partnership that we have had with you to make that happen. We are very, very proud of it. So I know the mayor could not join us, but to Mayor Gainey, to the mayor's team, again, you all are rock stars. I get asked a lot, why Pittsburgh is a workforce hub for the Biden-Harris administration, and it is in large part because of the incredible leadership here that you all have. So I want to give you guys a hand for that work. And also to my friend and sister, to Congresswoman Lee, for fighting the good fight every single day, for representing your district and for representing the people who are here to make sure you know very well why we cannot just reserve opportunity for a few. We have to make sure that opportunity is available to everybody, and you are someone who I get to see fight for that every single day, whether it's here or in DC. So thank you so much, Congresswoman. And I think our county executive is here too, but if she's not here yet, you all know, and I know that Sarah Namorado was another trailblazing fighter for the things that we're here to talk about today. So it is not an accident that we are gathered in the Hill District. The Hill District is a place filled with people of great promise, people of great talent, people who are hungry, people who are ready to roll up their sleeves and build up the community that they live in. And it's also a district that knows that opportunity has not always been widely shared. And it is an example of why President Biden and Vice President Harris knew so clearly from day one that we needed to invest in America. And we need to invest in America by investing in all communities. And so that's why, under this administration, there has been $2.3 billion invested in Pittsburgh alone. And that's $2.3 billion to repair roads and bridges, to ensure that every family who turns on the faucet gets clean drinking water, to ensure reliable access to internet, to build the public transportation system, to ensure that we are investing in clean energy and our climate. It's $2.3 billion investment, not just in things, but in people. And we have known from the beginning that in order to do those things, we were going to be able to create good jobs in this community. So under this administration, there's been 16 million jobs created since President Biden and Vice President Harris came to office across this country. That's the most jobs under any administration in the same time period in history. But as our partners here in Pittsburgh know well, we don't just care about the number of jobs, we care about the quality of those jobs. We know that a job is the way that somebody gets to live a decent life, gets to come home at the end of the day and breathe a sigh of relief, feel some security, put the keys down, take off their shoes, and know that they did a good day's work, but they're also building a secure life. and know that that job is not only good for them, it not only lifts up their family, it builds up their entire community. And so our investments are about building up communities like the Hill District right here. And again, I'm just so grateful to be able to be here with all of you to let you know that that is a real priority for us. Now, you also know, because I've talked about transportation, that historically transportation has not always been used to build up communities either, right? So we're doing that differently this time around as well. And our transportation investments are going to build up the Hill District and the entire region of Pittsburgh and the entire southwest part of Pennsylvania as an example for what can happen in the rest of the country too. Now, it's one thing to talk about things, and it's a very different thing to get them done. And this community knows how to get things done. And from the very beginning, the first time I came to Pittsburgh in this position, there has been tremendous alignment between the president and the vice president and my vision for this country and the mayor and the city's vision for Pittsburgh. A vision of opportunity for all, a vision in which everybody's talent can be fully tapped into to get an opportunity right where they live. And again, none of this could happen without the incredible leadership in the local government. And it's an example of what happens when the federal and local private sector, philanthropic partners all come together. Because from the first time we came here to talk about what a workforce hub meant, the Department of Labor had created good jobs principles, again, because we care not just about the number of jobs, we care about what those jobs look like. And Pittsburgh adopted your own good jobs principles that have really been a guiding light for everything that you are doing here. And now, those good jobs principles have been translated in many, many ways into real concrete improvements in the lives of individuals and communities right here in Pittsburgh, including here in the Hill District. And one of the things one of the examples of that is something that we just announced earlier today, which is the first in the nation apprenticeship program to train individuals to become electric vehicle technicians, a job that is growing, a job that is needed, and a job that we want to be available to folks right here in this community. And all of that is part of something that we call the opportunity infrastructure. The idea that we don't just need physical roads and bridges, we need roads and bridges that connect people to real opportunity. And when we do that right, then every young person here in the Hill District will know that there's a place for them where they can feel real economic security. Where every worker who wants a new opportunity can find one, finding an off-ramp from where they are and a new on-ramp to somewhere that they want to go. So that's the work that we've all been rolling our sleeves up together to do, and we are so proud to get to do it with all of you, and the announcements that are going to be made today are a part of that, right? And I think Troy is here. Troy, I'm so excited. You're going to share your story, right? An example of someone who is on the opportunity, who found the road, the on-ramp, and is on the opportunity infrastructure to the opportunities that you have created, and you are really an example for so many others. Other young men like Devin Hale, who graduated from Pitt to Work's pre-apprenticeship program, and Devin was in a job that was not providing him economic security. It was not taking full advantage of the talents that he had. It was not giving him the stability that he needed. But with the training program that he was in and the support that he got through Pitt to Work, he's now in a stable union job with benefits and a future that he can count on. That's the kind of opportunity that we want for every single person in this community and in this country. So, leadership matters. These things do not happen by accident. They happen because there are real leaders on the ground who are getting this work done. And again, we are so proud to support that leadership. We are in it with you. You have seen, I think many of my team are honorary members of the mayor's team now. And Pittsburgh is really showing the way and showing the way for the entire country. And we are just so very proud of that. So with that, I want to introduce the Deputy Mayor, Jake Pollock, who has also helped to lead the way here. Thank you so much, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, and I will echo the City of Pittsburgh's team feels very much about the Department of Labor under your leadership and leadership of President Biden and Vice President Harris to the very kind words you shared about us. This has been a very, very fruitful and strong and positive partnership. We are honored to have you here today with us in the historic Hill District to celebrate the growing list of accomplishments that this fruitful partnership has yielded. When Mayor Gainey first became mayor, he had a vision for creating a city in which every resident was afforded opportunities to thrive. For far too long, we have known the truth about the opportunity divide. That even as new industries have revolutionized their economy and significant public investments have rebuilt our infrastructure, many of our underserved communities have been left behind. That ends today. Mayor Gainey always tells our team that we go first. As the leaders of this city, we have made it our goal to lead by example in setting economic inclusion policies, creating opportunity, and improving our regional workforce ecosystem in collaboration with critical stakeholders like our anchor institution, Partner for Work. We have made it our focus to center and to prioritize disadvantaged workers, those who are from underrepresented neighborhoods, marginalized communities, and that face systemic barriers to employment. That access to opportunity all starts with a good job. And we're working to make connections to our underrepresented communities so that everyone has a pathway to equitable employment and make that promise a reality for everyone. We know that in order to do this, we'll need to break down silos. So we've got to work convening various stakeholders across industry, community, philanthropy, government, nonprofit institutions, organized labor, and the workforce to drive access and opportunity in the region, to increase engagement and collaboration, and to build real opportunity infrastructure. That collaboration birthed the Pittsburgh Good Jobs Principles. More than just a statement of shared values, this was our commitment to action, and we are beginning to see the fruits of that investment. We're here today to announce 3 significant commitments that the Gainey administration has been driving. First, I am excited to announce the advancement of a regional workforce equity agreement, and proud to share that we will be welcoming the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh and the Urban Redevelopment Authority to join us in this important effort. Please let's give those partners a hand. This historic collaboration, the first of its kind in our region, where the largest public sector institutions in the city are utilizing our purchasing, development financing, and real estate processes to hold everyone accountable for our region's growth. With this collaboration, we are taking the lead as public owners to ensure that the people building the future infrastructure and housing of our region are representative of the communities who will use that infrastructure and live in that housing. With this collaboration, we will have the opportunity on projects like the Esplanade development in Chateau, the revitalization of downtown, which we announced historic investments in partnership with Allegheny County, Governor Shapiro, and the private sector last week. The redevelopment of Bedford dwellings here in the Hill District, the Smithfield Street reconstruction project that's going on right now, the installation of public EV charging stations across the city, hopefully employing technicians from the program that Secretary Sue and I had the privilege to tour earlier this morning at CCAC, and transportation and street projects to reconnect the Hill District, and so many more. Second, we are announcing the expansion of Partner for Work and Intro to the Trades for Construction program to the construction of the Live Nation venue right here in the Hill District, right around the corner on the Lower Hill. As a pre-apprenticeship program, this will ensure that we are continuing to build that pipeline of a skilled and diverse workforce with paid training opportunities. I really want to stress the importance of that opportunity, not just to the advancement of the Good Jobs Principles or our collaboration with the federal government, but also on honoring a commitment made to the Hill District a long time ago in the advancing of the Lower Hill redevelopment, where a cornerstone of the community's agreement with the city, with the URA, with the Penguins and the public partners was to ensure that that project and any redevelopment that happened there advanced workforce opportunities for Hill District residents. I have the privilege of sitting on the executive management committee for the Lower Hill project since Mayor Gainey took office, and I know how hard the partners that sit around that table have been fighting to honor that commitment, and I'm very proud that through this initiative we're playing a part in that. Third, we are announcing the Pittsburgh Prosperity Project, an effort in collaboration with the city government, philanthropy, community partners, and Partner for Work to design and build a coordination network that can address the supportive service needs of Pittsburgh's disadvantaged workers. We will pilot this network starting in spring of 2025 to make sure that it functions properly, and then we'll scale it region-wide. Our newest commitments will only continue to allow us to build upon this work. Pittsburgh, there is so much more that we can achieve when we come together, and I'm very excited about these initiatives and how they demonstrate what the partnership between community, government, labor, and certainly the federal government can deliver. So thank you very much for the opportunity on behalf of Mayor Gainey to share this today. I'm now proud to introduce Deputy Chief of Staff Felicity Williams. I should note that when the program for today's event was originally put together, she was speaking after Mayor Gainey, which I think most folks know is the toughest job around. So she got off a little easy today speaking after me. But Felicity will share more details about this great and transformative efforts are in the Workforce Hub and the announcements today. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Pollack. Good afternoon, Pittsburgh. We're in the Hill District. Come on, I know y'all can do better than that. Good afternoon, Pittsburgh. Much better, much better. So what a day. As you heard both Secretary Sue and Deputy Mayor Pollack say, this is our second event of the day. We started out in the West Hills with an exciting ribbon cutting for the new EV Technician Lab at CCAC West Hills. And now we are here in the historic Hill District to share in this good news with you all about these three significant announcements you just heard the Deputy Mayor preview for us. Having worked in the Hill District at the Hill CDC, I know how important these economic inclusion strategies are to this community as it seeks to redevelop without displacement. And it is with joy that I get to be here sharing in these announcements with some of this community's leadership who I know are in this room today. And I'm gonna do something very, very Mayor Gainey in his absence throughout this program, so everyone should just get prepared for this now. I'm gonna ask folks to stand up and be recognized, because I know that, as I said, we have representatives of this community's leadership here in this room. So please, I know I saw Marimba, I saw Glenn Grayson, I saw Councilman Lavelle, I know there's others. Please stand to be recognized as Deputy Mayor Pollack talked about, have been driving and pushing for these types of commitments for over a decade, a very long time here in this community. I have the honor of speaking with you all today to share additional details about the announcements the Deputy Mayor just made before we bring up the rest of today's speakers, who will each speak to an aspect of what we are laying the foundation for here for both our city and our region. This has been quite the journey since we were first designated as a workforce hub in May of 2023. From developing and releasing the Pittsburgh Good Jobs Principles a little over a year ago at a signing ceremony with Acting Secretary Sue and First Lady Jill Biden, to securing over 50 commitments to those principles from employers, elected officials, unions, educational institutions, nonprofits, philanthropy, public owners, and training providers. To now, these announcements today, and many, many, many meetings, engagements, announcements, and hard work between them. This work is certainly not easy. It requires dedication, imagination, creativity, collaboration, and trust. And truly, this is only the beginning. To that end, I want to acknowledge Secretary Sue and her team. We could not have a better partner in the Department of Labor. They have faithfully supported us at every step on this journey, and we look forward to continuing to do this good work together. Before I really dive in, I have to also begin by thanking the mayor for setting such a courageous and bold vision for us, giving us this challenge to disrupt the status quo and transform our region. As the mayor often says, status quo don't grow. We cannot build or envision a future for this region in which we continue to leave significant portions of that region behind. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor once wrote, "It is beyond dispute that any public entity, state or federal, has a compelling interest in assuring that public dollars drawn from the tax contributions of all citizens do not serve to finance the evil of private prejudice." We at the city have adopted this philosophy that we cannot be passive participants in economic exclusion throughout our economic inclusion work. As public owners, it is our responsibility and our duty to ensure that government works for everyone, and that starts with who and how we do business. The Regional Workforce Equity Agreement is a testament to our values of economic opportunity and an example of how we are taking the steps to ensure there is equity in our region's workforce. It is no longer sufficient to just build the things, but you must also ensure that there is diverse business participation, diverse workforce participation, and that the jobs you are providing are good jobs. We are honored to have some of our public leaders who are willing to take this journey with us. More specifically, Mayor Ed Gainey and the leadership of the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh and the Urban Redevelopment Authority have reached agreement on core terms for a regional workforce equity agreement. Those terms include implementing equity contracting program requirements for both job quality and diverse workforce participation standards on construction projects, requiring prevailing wage rates, fringe benefits, and worker protections for workers on those construction projects, requiring apprenticeship utilization on those construction projects to increase the supply of a highly trained, skilled, and diverse workforce, establishing a regional oversight committee that will govern this agreement and its implementation, establishing a project advisory committee for collective strategizing to support implementation of this agreement, as well as problem solving, resolving challenges, connecting contractors, community partners, and workers to available resources, and establishing and contributing to a technical assistance fund to support training, supportive services, recruitment, and advancement for disadvantaged workers. We will finalize the agreement over the next several weeks as we also initiate the process of taking this agreement to our respective boards and City Council for authorization. I am glad to have Council President and you are a board member, Daniel Lavelle, here today in the room with us. Please acknowledge him. Our intention is to secure approval by the end of the year and then develop the necessary individual and collective regulations and process to roll out implementation in the spring 2025 construction season. I could not get up here and speak to this particular announcement without recognizing our internal teams at the city. I'm happy to be joined in the audience by Solicitor Krisha Kubiak and Deputy Solicitor Jesse Exelis, who constantly indulge me, not just on the Workforce Hub, as well as our DOMI colleagues who are here today, including Director Kim Lucas, and who have willingly agreed to be our city project guinea pigs in applying the Regional Workforce Equity Agreement. I also have to thank Chief Wheatley for his constant leadership and support of this work. In our program today, Castor Binion, Executive Director of the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh, as the first public owner to commit to taking this journey with us, as well as Steve Mazza, Council Representative for the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, and one of our labor champions, will speak to their support for the agreement. Although not in the speaking program today, I also want to acknowledge that I believe I saw representatives from the Urban Redevelopment Authority here. If you are, we could please stand to be acknowledged. Related to the second announcement the Deputy Mayor made, we are so excited to see the first expansion of For Construction to a city project be right here on the new music venue in the Hill District. Thank you to Partner for Work and PJ Dick for their commitment to hosting this cohort and for PJ Dick's commitment to hiring for open roles out of the program where possible. Rob Cherry, CEO of Partner for Work and our Hub Anchor Institution, as well as PJ Dick, contractor for the construction of the music venue, and a recent graduate of a For Construction cohort, will all be speaking today about this program and the opportunities it creates. And I have to pause here and thank Partner for Work for serving as the anchor institution in every aspect of the Hub. From countless meetings, emails, phone calls, late nights, and committing to get to yes with all of the innovations, curveballs, even some wild ideas we throw at them. We could not do this work without them. Thank you, Rob. Finally, we know that even with our commitment as public owners to require those we do business with to meet these goals and efforts, as well as continuing to expand the amazing training programs we have like For Construction, that none of this works without realigning and connecting our systems to ensure that disadvantaged workers get the support they need to remove barriers, complete training, and obtain and retain employment. This is something we have heard from countless stakeholders, including our philanthropic table and our community table. To that end, I'm excited that you will get to hear from both Marisol Valentin, Executive Director of Macaulay Ministries and one of our philanthropic champions, as well as Angela Mike, Executive Director of CTE at PPS and our Community Table Champion, on how these commitments advance and support the work of their respective tables. The Pittsburgh Prosperity Project, as we have titled the pilot, is being developed in collaboration by representatives of the Mayor's Office, the Heinz Endowments, Macaulay Ministries, Community Table Champion Angela Mike, Partner for Work, Buell Foundation, Pittsburgh Community Services, Inc., Catapult Greater Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh Gateways. And I know I saw representatives of almost all of those organizations here in this room with us, so please again stand so that you guys can be acknowledged as well. Although Matt Barron, Program Director at Heinz Endowments, and our other philanthropic champion is not able to be here today, we are so glad that Megan Andros, Program Director at Heinz Endowments, is. And we want to thank both Heinz, Macaulay, and Partner for Work for making financial commitments to support this work. We are excited to share that Heinz Endowments has invited us to apply for $100,000 to support this work. Macaulay Ministries has committed $50,000, and Partner for Work has committed $125,000 for training vouchers, for a total of $275,000 in local commitments. We are also in communications with national funders who are excited about what we are doing here in Pittsburgh and look forward to them also making investments in this work. Each of these commitments today build upon previous commitments as well as one another to create that opportunity infrastructure that our colleagues at the Department of Labor spoke about. To bring this all together, as the distributors of public dollars, we set the standards and requirements for those doing business with us to receive them. Our training partners make sure we have high-quality training programs, and then we build the network that supports disadvantaged workers accessing those jobs. As you can see through all of the partnerships and collaborations mentioned here today, we can't do this by ourselves. To that end, lastly, but certainly not least, we are thankful to have federal partners like Congresswoman Lee to support our efforts not just in the Workforce Hub, but in building a city where everyone is safe, where everyone feels welcome, and where everyone has an opportunity to thrive. And with that, I would like to introduce our Congresswoman, Summer Lee.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
It doesn't feel that way. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a beautiful day to be on the historic Hill, is it not? I'm so excited to be here with you all. It is my privilege to be in partnership with all of the folks who have been listed, who could not be listed enough, though I do not have as extensive a list as Felicity, but that's okay. But obviously, to Acting Secretary Sue, who has made Pittsburgh her second home, with the Department of Labor that has been committed to making sure that we are meeting our goals in Western Pennsylvania and all over the country, to Mayor Gainey. And let me say, when Mayor Gainey got into office, he had one big commitment, and that was to build a city for all that was livable for all. And to be able to be in partnership with folks of that commitment is so important. As we know, where opportunity meets hustle is where we are right now. And to all of our partners in here, including Partner for Work, our sisters and brothers of labor, and to our local partners who are here with us today. Pittsburgh is seeing over $2.3 billion, say it again with me, $2.3 billion in federal support, bringing new opportunities and union jobs to our neighborhoods. These investments are fueling the future of our city and investing in the people who make Pittsburgh strong. From clean energy to manufacturing to job training, that investment means that everyone has a chance to find a place in our city and our city's growth. Today's announcements are a promise to Black and brown and working class folks, especially here in Pittsburgh, that everybody will have a seat in the new tables that we are collectively building. The Regional Workforce Equity Agreement is a commitment to making sure that folks who've been locked out can get a fair shot at good jobs, especially in construction and the trades. The For Construction program creates pathways to meaningful careers, putting people on the job site and giving them the tools that they need to succeed. For so many families, this is about stability and dignity and opportunity. And the Workforce Readiness and Supportive Services pilot program will build a coordination network that can address the supportive service needs of Pittsburgh's disadvantaged workers, building on important collaboration between the city and our foundation partners. All this work only happens because of partnerships with groups like Partner for Work, and it shows that we can achieve what we can achieve when we work together to build a Pittsburgh that works for everyone. So I thank you all so much for being here with us. I thank you all when we talk about a long time coming. I thank everybody who has been in this fight from the beginning, those who picked up in the middle, and those who are going to see it with us through the end, because it's that important that we stay committed to our promises, to the opportunities that our administration has been promising and committing to us. And with that said, it is my privilege to hand off the mic to Rob Cherry, CEO of Partner for Work.
It's not fun to follow the mayor. It is also not fun to follow the Congresswoman either. Before I get started, I just want to give a special shout out, not only to the city, but Felicity Williams. Yeah. Thank you so much for what you do. So it's an honor to be here today to talk about the progress for our city, our community, and most of all, for the people we serve. Today we're here to talk about real investment, not just in buildings or projects, but in people, in skills, and in lasting opportunity. The acting secretary regularly talks about building the opportunity infrastructure in our country. We need to do more than create good jobs and pathways for our neighbors to follow. We need to create true access to opportunities through pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship programs, supportive service networks, and identifying ways to de-risk career changes for job seekers and businesses alike. As the Workforce Development Board for Allegheny County and the City of Pittsburgh, we take this responsibility seriously. That's why we're proud to announce today that we will be expanding our pre-apprenticeship construction program here in the Hill District with general contractor P.J. Dick on a new music venue. This program is designed to open doors for those who may not have had access to opportunities like this before. This program isn't just a stepping stone. It's a solid foundation for those looking to build careers, to create change, and to provide for their families. You'll hear more about the program in a minute from P.J. Dick and Troy, a graduate from the Intro to the Trades program. And I also want to give a special shout out to Holly, Ron, Chiquita, Don. Thank you so much for all of your leadership on this. Thank you. We get to talk about this program all the time, but it is your labor of love. I know it is your calling to do this work, and we appreciate you so much for doing this. This work isn't quick or easy, but it is essential. We're grateful to everyone who has committed to this effort, and we look forward to building on this momentum. Because when we invest in workforce development, we invest in people, in families, and in a stronger and more inclusive future. These investments are the groundwork for our future, and our city's workforce reflects it in diversity and resilience and in its potential. This expansion is in part because of the leadership of the Urban Redevelopment Authority and their priority on creating good jobs for our neighbors in Pittsburgh. Through the Regional Workforce Equity Agreement that Felicity just described, we will see additional public owners stepping up to ensure that the investment of their public funding goes to create not just new buildings and infrastructure, but good jobs for people who would use these resources. I want to thank the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh for being here today. They are leading by example. Their support is aligning resources, vision, and commitment to creating sustainable pathways for job seekers in the city to access good jobs. By standing here today, the Housing Authority shows that they are committed to a future where economic growth includes everyone. Now I'd like to introduce Castor Binion, Executive Director, Housing Authority.
So sometimes you look for new words, and somebody said this one day, I can't remember who it was, but you know what, Pittsburgh, this is a big deal. All right, this is a big deal. My name is Castor Binion. I'm the Executive Director of the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh. And we were first to sign on. I mean, once the city said, hey, and I say yes. Because we've been waiting for this for a long time. But anyway, before I get started, I want to recognize some people. HUD, who give us all our money. Where are you? Will you stand up, please? Okay. Board members of the Housing Authority and my staff, and residents who live on the Hill. If you're here, just give us a wave. But the bottom line is this. You know, you're a young man, a young person, and you get in high school, and you live in a community, and you're trying to figure out what do you do next. You know, I was there at one time in my life. What is my future? Is there something here for me? This partnership is big to an individual, because we're going to have an impact on the next generation. And guess what? The Housing Authority have the buildings to be built. We have 884 units that we built up here for Choice Neighborhood, and I think I probably got another 500 or 600 more to build. So, with the revitalization of downtown and all the stuff that's going on in the city of Pittsburgh, the question is, Partners for Work, do we have enough workers? We will. We will, because we have apprenticeship programs with our partners, and the future for Pittsburgh is big. If you're looking for a job, we want to make sure everyone get a job, at the same time build housing, affordable housing for them. This is a big deal, because I don't know, and looking at different age groups in here, I'm a little older, but I do remember at that time when I was 17, 18 years old in the city of St. Louis and wanted to get into an apprenticeship program. Even though I went to a trade school, I could not get in. This big opportunity for apprenticeship is amazing, and we need the workforce. So all Team Pittsburgh, thank you for all this, and we're glad we said yes, and we have the work, and thank you for all the apprenticeship programs and opportunities. Even though we talk about construction, when you build something, there are spin-off jobs, and there's lots of spin-off jobs, so we're going to accommodate both of them. So thank you, and big deal. And the good thing that is nice, who I'm going to introduce next, is Steve Mazza from the Carpenter Union. And I tell you what, to be up here with him is a big deal, because to be a carpenter, to go through an apprenticeship program, you have a life, a career, a family, and you can send your kids to school. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to be short, but thank you for that. That's what we're here for, to build careers, give people an opportunity. So my name's Steve Mazza, Council Representative, Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, Vice President of Pittsburgh Building Trades, Vice President of Labor Council. So in our organization, in Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, we have 45 to 50,000 members in 6 states. That comprises our council. So we're all about training. Our international spends over $250 million a year across the country to train our members and train new people every day. So a little history. Our organization started way back in 1881 with a guy named Peter J. McGuire, who organized people member to member, person to person. And we see that value every day. So what we do now, we go neighborhood to neighborhood, person to person, to try to change their lives. Because we understand that people in these neighborhoods, young men and women, they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't know what they're going to do. They're fighting gangs. They're fighting all these different elements, different barriers. So we're here every day trying to change that. Every month, we take in 30 to 40 apprentices. We have over 1,100 apprentices in our training program right now. We have 425 first-year apprentices. So And we saw we needed more people, so we knew we had to change as an organization. Our intake process, everything that we had to do, and what we had to do was build more relationships with the city, with all the partners here, the housing authority. I've been a council representative for 17 years, and I've been always trying to work with the URA, housing authorities, trying to change the mindset, the business model of how things were getting done in the city of Pittsburgh, because if we don't have the jobs, we can't put these young men and women to work. So we all have to work together on that. So it's not an easy thing. This is the first step, and it's a long way to go. And that it is, and that's just being honest, you know, because a lot of people just don't understand how our industry operates. And that's no disrespect to anybody. Construction's different than a lot of different things out there. But what people have to understand is if you don't want to be a carpenter, electrician, pile driver, steam fitter, whatever, there's thousands of jobs in the construction industry, project managers, architects. There's different things that they can do, these young men and women. They don't have to go out there in the field because it's a tough job, you know. So I just want to thank everybody, the partners I've worked with. I am very humbled to have this opportunity to be a part of this. It's a big thing for the city of Pittsburgh. I've lived here my whole life, and I want to see it grow and get better and better. So I want to introduce Marisol Valentin. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. This is a very exciting Halloween day. I feel like it's full of treats. As Steve said, my name is Marisol Valentin, and I'm the co-chair of the philanthropic table here for the City of Pittsburgh's Workforce Hub. My co-chair is Matt Barron, and as Felicity explained, he was not able to be here today, but I already called him, he's already celebrated, and Megan is here today to share this with us. And I wanted to share a little bit of this moment from the philanthropic perspective. You know, we all know philanthropies are investors in the community. They're investors in community agents and change makers, but there's a little other role that we also play, and it's important for us to also be thought partners, to work with government, to work with our communities, to work with corporations, to think about new ideas, and to be able to provide that catalyst to see them happen. Especially, our role is to be bold risk takers. Without that, we don't get the space to be innovative. And this has worked in the past. Many of the safety net programs that we count on, like Head Start or Meals in the Schools, started because of philanthropic support to catalyze those ideas. The changes that our families face today are many, and they face that in a system that is overburdened. And I know this from personal experience. So I grew up in Barrio Obrero, Puerto Rico, right? And this is a community very much like the Hill District, right? It's a poor, hardworking class neighborhood. If anybody is a Daddy Yankee fan, that's where he's from, that's where I'm from. And it is not an island of garbage, as many people would want to think. Puerto Rico and the community that I'm from is full of ambitious, smart, creative families, just like the Hill District. You know, we're proud of our legacy. We're proud of where we come, but we've been held back by poor urban planning. We've been held back by disinvestment. We've been held back because many people believe that an opportunity is putting a poster on a website. This is not what this is about. My mom was a single mom who raised 2 daughters on a salary of $20,000 a year. She made many sacrifices, and one that I remember most clearly, and this may sound funny, but it was her shoes. She would buy 1 pair of shoes for the whole year. She was a professor at a university. We didn't own a car, so she walked everywhere. So by the end of that academic year, there were holes on the bottom of her shoes. And I didn't understand it. I thought it was my mom being mom, right? Like, oh, Mom, why don't you buy more pair of shoes? And then I came to Pittsburgh, and I finished my degree, and I got my first paycheck after college. And at that point, I was earning the same amount that my mom earned after 40 years of working. And I was single, and I didn't have kids, and I struggled to make ends meet on that salary. And it was at that moment that I understood. But my story is not unique. Right now, today, in the Hill District, 40 years later, our families, mostly single-family units, are living on $20,000 a year. And just pause and think about the fact that this is 40 years later. We're thinking about cost of inflation changes, right? We're thinking about a new way of industry and economies. So how are our families making it? The biggest problem that I see is that we've adopted a philosophy that we think is it's okay to create systems that burden and create barriers to the people it's supposed to help. This project is about changing that. It's about breaking all of that down and creating and redesigning a workforce system that matches the life of the 21st century. It is about really taking a time to think about how we create person-centered systems that wrap ourselves around our families, that make sure that we can address all the multitude of barriers that they're facing, from healthcare to transportation to simple things. You know, sometimes it's simply that you do not even have the hour that you need to think through your next step. But one of the things that I love about the community, you know, which Macaulay has called home for over 15 years, is that we are very action-oriented. And to the point that Secretary Sue mentioned, just this morning, I was up the hill in Bedford on Ledley Street, watching the groundbreaking of the first modular home in the Hill District. And what was really amazing, is that what was phenomenal was not the build, but the story behind. The project is led by one of our faith leaders, Reverend Walls, who's been an active member of this community for years. He had a vision that he wanted to address the housing affordable issue, but he wanted to make it in a way that benefited the community. So he found a contractor that shared his same belief, Modular, and they said, we're going to help bring this innovative technology to your community. But we're not just going to do it by bringing in the modular units from another community. We're going to build those in Pittsburgh. So the units are built in Pittsburgh. The labor is from Pittsburgh and from the Hill District. The groundbreaking just happened this morning, and by Christmas, those units are going to be finished. So I know that this initiative is going to be transformative. And I'm just so excited to be able to kick this off. It was important for the Heinz Endowments and Macaulay to be first in investors, but we are not working in silo in this community philanthropic table. And so I know there's some members of the philanthropic community here. I would just like for you guys to stand and be recognized. Thanks, Fred. Pittsburgh Foundation, I see you too. Thank you. We are very excited as the philanthropic table to be here today and be part of this transformative change. But we're also very excited at the fact that we cannot do this alone and that we're working with the community table. So I'm very excited at this point to introduce you to another champion in this project, Angela Mike, the Executive Director of Career and Technical Education at the Pittsburgh Public Schools, and the champion leader of the community table for this project.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. As was mentioned, I'm Angela Mike, and I am one of the community table champions. We at the table are so excited, and there are many members of the community table here. If you all could just stand up, because I want to give you a special thank you for being committed to the workforce community table. Those who are here from the table, stand up. Thank you so much. So we as a team, we're really excited that there is philanthropic support going to help us to drive our initiatives. Without that, we wouldn't have been able to have that announcement today, the Pittsburgh Prosperity Project that we're so excited about. And this is going to help empower us to get to those high-need neighborhoods and the communities that really need us, and they need help to find their pathways to work and to access to it. and wraparound resources so that they can continue down that path. Additionally, I want to talk about this investment. It really helps us to provide targeted support. It's the link that the people need to get to the right apprenticeship opportunity, also training providers and businesses. And then also with our new partners joining the Regional Workforce Equity Agreement, we're extending that support to businesses who are committed to opening up their doors for job seekers. And that's something that we're all thrilled about too. So as a community table champion here in Pittsburgh, I know it's vital for us to foster really strong relationships between businesses and organizations. And by doing that, we can better understand and communicate skills and abilities that entry-level workers need. And we need to know that so that we can help them succeed. Our mission at the Community Workforce Table is to connect the right people with the right opportunities. Otherwise, it won't work. We have to ensure that there's mutual success on both ends. So as we build the new Pittsburgh Prosperity Project and implement it, one key principle remains, and I'm gonna slow down right here, because this is most important. We must listen to those that we are directly impacting. They have to have a voice at the table. They have to be a part of it for us to have a truly inclusive workforce system here in Pittsburgh. So again, the Community Table on Workforce is here to listen, partner, collaborate, and foster a diverse, as Mayor Gainey says, thriving community for all here in Pittsburgh. So thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Teresa Giacomino.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, Ms. Angela Mike, for the introduction. I am Teresa Giacomino. On behalf of PJ Dick, we are excited to be a partner with Partner for Work and Live Nation to support and further Pittsburgh's workforce training and opportunities. Mr. Tom Loudermilk, Live Nation's market president, while not speaking today, I believe is present in the audience back here. Collaboratively, we aim to build a pre-apprenticeship program that provides the tools, training, and practical skills needed to successfully obtain quality, long-term employment. The program will coincide with the peak construction period of the Lower Hills' new Live Nation music venue. This pre-apprenticeship provides the first step for local residents to find quality and sustaining career opportunities. As one of Pittsburgh's largest and key employers in the industry, PJ Dick relies upon these programs to prepare each student to successfully advance into the union and their individual apprenticeship programs. Pittsburgh is growing, and these pre-apprenticeship programs help pave the way, while strengthening our ability to further build upon our local workforce and bolster our economy. So what did this partnership look like, you probably wonder? Our mission is focused on advancing underserved job seekers, growing skilled trade labor, and supporting our regional growth. We will actively recruit from the Greater Hill District. We will provide guidance and insight into our industry. We will integrate on-site shadowing opportunities, and we will host and facilitate interviews for open positions, just to name a few. As you may know, PJ Dick is nearly finished with a new building on the Lower Hill, which was the first in a 10-plus year development plan. The project had 39 first-year apprentices, with a total of 217 apprentices at various levels within their programs. This is a testament to the growing and renewed interest in the construction industry. But we still need to recruit. We still need to spark higher levels of interest into these careers with a focus on diverse men and women. Pittsburgh has an aging population of workers in the union, and as workers retire, newly skilled workers need to be prepared to take their place. PJ Dick looks forward to working with Partner for Work, Live Nation, and regional partners to expand the opportunities available for equitable training and successful employment in our area. The opportunities exist and will continue to exist for those that step up and take advantage of programs such as these. I'd like to now introduce to you such a gentleman who took advantage of the Introduction to the Construction Trades Pre-Apprenticeship Program, Mr. Troy Buford. Thank you all.
Thank you. My name is Troy Buford. I'm 31 years old, and I'm a skilled laborer's apprentice with local 1058. I graduated from the Introduction to Construction Trades program with Pitt to Work. Before I became the person who I am today that you're seeing, I can't say that I was doing anything that was going to have a long-lasting stamp of positive progress on my upcoming future. It was a really amazing opportunity to me because I had no construction knowledge prior to going into these classes. The first day of the program, we got straight to business. We learned everything from refreshing our math skills to becoming OSHA certified. Mannerisms, work ethics, and always being on time was something that was always drilled into our heads. The hands-on training was amazing to me and my cohort as we were eager to try new things. We were able to visit multiple different trade centers and figure out the direction that we all wanted to take. Being in the field with all the things I learned from this program made being at work a breeze. I have heard that I'm in a final selection for Apprentice of the Year for the laborers. Pitt to Work has really been a blessing. It's changed my life and put me on the right path because I didn't know where I wanted to go to make an honest living. And I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity because I honestly feel blessed. And thank you.
All right, I am coming back up here again just to reflect on what is such beautiful energy in this room, standing room only, so much excitement, so much hope, and what the vision that we have laid out here for the future of our region and the city of Pittsburgh. And of course, as we talked about, the work is not done. We are going to close out here before we take some questions from the media with a call to action, how you can get involved. We are, of course, calling on our city and region's other public owners to join us for the Regional Workforce Equity Agreement, which you can certainly connect with me to do that. We're calling on our region's philanthropy to invest in our work, which you can certainly connect with Marisol, Matt, or myself on that as well. And we are calling on other members of our community, whether you be employers, training providers, educational institutions, etc., to commit to the Pittsburgh Good Jobs Principles to get involved with this work. And you can visit our Engage PGH website. I'm gonna list out the website here, but I promise you if you Google Engage Workforce Hub, it'll be probably easier for you to get there than the website. But it is engage.pittsburgh.gov/white-house-workforce-talent-hub. You see why I said just Google it, right? We can just Google it. You will, I promise you, it will come up. You will get there. When you get there, please click Connect with the Hub. Fill out that form, and we will follow up with you to share the link to take the pledge to the Pittsburgh Good Jobs Principles. You will also find on that website all of the commitments of the Pittsburgh Good Jobs Principles, information about projects that have been identified for Workforce Hub projects, job opportunities, procurement opportunities, timelines of events and engagements, and more. It is really the hub for the hub. We want to thank you all for coming out here today. We want to thank you all for your partnership, your collaboration, your dedication, your belief, your trust, all of the things that we need to be able to do this work together. And I look forward to spending more time with you all and doing more work in the future. Thank you all so much for being here today.